Have you ever wondered why sometimes you dislike someone instantly, even before you really get to know them? Or why small actions of others can trigger intense irritation in you, even when they don't directly affect your life? Maybe you're not really seeing them. Maybe what you're seeing is yourself, reflected through them. This is what we call the mirror principle. It says, you judge what you are. The things you criticize in others are often parts of yourself you haven't yet accepted. This episode is an inward journey through this profound principle, a journey that might just change how you see life, people, and most of all, yourself. The mirror principle invites us to see the world not as it is, but as a reflection of our inner world. Rooted in psychology, especially Carl Jung's theories, it suggests that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves. We judge others because something about them touches a wound within us that hasn't yet healed. It's not that they hurt us. They simply reveal a pain already there. Think about it. You hate someone for being arrogant. Perhaps you were once hurt by someone with that trait, or fear being seen that way yourself. You look down on someone for being weak. Maybe you're denying your own vulnerability. You're deeply triggered by someone's hypocrisy. Perhaps you once lived a lie and haven't yet forgiven yourself for it. Every strong emotion we feel toward another carries within it a hidden message about ourselves. The ego, our constructed sense of identity, plays a central role in this dynamic. It helps us function in the world, but it also distorts reality to protect itself. When threatened, it defends through judgment, attack, or denial. Freud called these defense mechanisms. One of the most common is projection, where we project traits we refuse to accept in ourselves onto others, and judge them instead of facing our truth. The ego is terrified of being exposed as flawed, weak, or not enough. So when we see those traits in others, we react, not because of them, but because our ego feels threatened. It constructs a self-image of being good or worthy, and will do anything to maintain it, even if that means denying uncomfortable truths. When you judge someone as lazy, it might be because you fear your own inertia. When you resent someone's success, it might be because you feel inadequate. Judgment becomes a mirror, but a foggy one, reflecting the shadows we're too afraid to face. Philosophers have long touched this truth. Nietzsche once said, "If you gaze long enough into the abyss will gaze back into you." When we fixate on the darkness outside, we are, in fact, confronting the same darkness within. Good and evil aren't external. They're possibilities that live in each of us. Harsh judgment often comes from the desperate need to deny we are capable of the same things we condemn. Carl Jung delved deeply into this phenomenon, naming the rejected parts of ourselves, the shadow. This shadow is not inherently evil or dark. It simply contains aspects we've pushed away to fit in, to be loved, or to survive. It includes our anger, jealousy, pride, and even our hidden talents and passions, anything that did not align with the image we were taught to uphold. Jung wrote, "The shadow is a moral problem that challenges the whole ego personality, for no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. It's uncomfortable because it asks us to own the parts of ourselves we least want to see." Jung believed that the key to personal growth was not in becoming more perfect, but in integrating the shadow, to see it, accept it, and bring it into the light. Without integration, the shadow controls us from behind the scenes, manifesting as projection, judgment, or unexplained emotional reactivity. He warned that what we don't make conscious will return as fate, showing up again and again in our relationships, in the people we hate, in the situations we repeat. One powerful example Jung explored is the persona, the mask we wear to present a socially acceptable version of ourselves. The persona helps us function, but it also hides our shadow. When someone violates our sense of identity, our persona, by reminding us of what we suppress, we react with disproportionate emotion. That reaction isn't about them. It's about the battle between our shadow and our ego's carefully constructed mask. Eastern philosophy echoes this understanding. In Buddhism, there's a saying, "The mind is the world." Our outer reality mirrors our inner state. When the mind is calm, the world is peaceful. When the mind is in chaos, the world reflects it. Judgment doesn't reveal truth about the other. It reveals the truth about us. So, how do we recognize when we're projecting? Start by pausing whenever you feel a strong emotional reaction. Ask yourself, where is this really coming from? Journal about moments of discomfort and irritation, and try to find the common thread between you and the person triggering you. Replace judgment with curiosity. When you feel disgust at someone's pride, ask, have I ever acted that way? What am I trying to prove? When someone feels fake to you, consider, am I fully living my truth? One powerful healing method is to write a letter to your shadow, to express the fear, rage, or jealousy you've been taught to hide. Practice radical compassion toward yourself. When you learn to embrace your inner darkness, you stop needing to hate it in others. Most judgment comes from a wound that hasn't been forgiven. When you begin to forgive yourself for your past, your mistakes, your flaws. You soften, you open, you become less reactive and more loving. Let's explore a real-life story. A strict father constantly clashed with his rebellious teenage son. The father saw the boy's defiance as disrespect, but when he reflected deeply, he realized something painful. As a child, he had been forced to obey, to perform, to suppress his true self. Seeing his son express freedom awakened an old grief, not because the boy was wrong, but because he himself had never been allowed to live that way. That was the wound being touched. Every person is a mirror. The ones who anger you reflect wounds that still hurt. The ones who inspire you reflect potential within you not yet lived. When you start to see every reflection as an invitation to understand yourself, you are no longer a prisoner of emotional reactivity. You become the witness, the healer, the one who evolves. And so, in the end, what you judge in others was never really about them. It was a message, a mirror, a whisper from within that said, look closer, listen deeper, love the part of you that you've forgotten. The mirror principle isn't easy to accept because it requires radical responsibility for your inner world. But in that responsibility lies liberation, freedom from anger, from blame, from pain, and above all, freedom to love yourself and the world just as it is. Are you ready to look in the mirror